Good morning. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and I'm glad to see you here today. Whether you are a new viewer or you are a returning viewer, it means the world to me that you took some time out of your day to hang out with me. Now this week we are in that oddball week of between Christmas and New Year's, to where some people are off work, the kids are out of school, and it's kind of a limbo week. So usually my channel is knitting, crochet, sewing, and lots of talking. Today it's gonna be about something that has been nearly 2 months in the making. Started on Halloween. Halloween present and a Christmas present kind of rolled into one. But before we get to that, I would love to show you something. Brandy, a sweet subscriber of mine, and a channel member, sent me something. And I didn't ask her if I could post it. I probably should have. So what I will do is I will ask her, and if she says no, you won't see this. But if she does, I'm going to show you. So I love this little squirrel. And this, if you don't know, I made a crocheted version. Actually, I made two crocheted versions. I made a mini to try it out, and then I made the bigger one. And I love him. I love both of them. And I also love this little guy here. He has his little acorn, and he's so fluffy and so cute. So now I can put him back here. Oops. Meat and candy thermometer. That doesn't belong in here. But you know how I said that limbo thing? Well, this is that week. Anyway, so this is the other thing that she sent me. Now, this is, I cannot remember for the life of me. Someone made a picture of my Skittles that I lost in September, and they did a picture of it on my Facebook, and Brandy had that made into printed on this mug, and I love it. Do y'all know this may be the perfect size mug for my tea, because I can't drink coffee, but this is like perfect, and I'm excited to give it a shot. I haven't yet, because I hadn't been that long opened it, and things got a little crazy, you know, with Christmas and you know, everything going on there. But, now, again, if she says no or she doesn't want it, then you won't see that. All right. Now, this is the thing that I was going to tell y'all. I told y'all, okay, first of all, I did tell y'all about my boo-boo. I've gotten a few more boo-boos. I have lost a lot of blood, or not a lot of blood, but I have shed some blood in the last few days. One of them was, they were doing fireworks at my brother-in-law's house, and I had my grandson in my lap. We had a blanket over top of us, and I told him, because the previous year they had done something crazy and dropped something in a bucket, and it exploded the bucket, and me and the grandson went running, which was funny because, you know, I can't run very well. And this year he didn't want to be out there, and I'm like, it's okay, sit on grandma's lap, I'll protect you, you know, I have the cover, we'll be safe. Famous last words. was a total accident. The firework somehow fell over, and the full force of all of those, the big pellets that go up and explode and do all these beautiful designs, yeah, they got aimed at us. Some hit my father-in-law in his foot and his leg, and thankfully he was wearing the old man penny loafers that are leather. He still felt the impact of it, and it still bruised him up pretty good, but it didn't break skin or anything like that. He did, I got something on my chin. He did have a scratch that I checked on his leg, but, you know, overall, we both came away really, really good. What scared me is my grandson, because he was screaming that it hit his leg, and his mom snatched him, properly so, snatched him off my lap, ran in the house with him, and I'm right behind him. And I'm like, it hit me. It hit me. I feel it burning. And I lifted up my shirt, and it did. I ended up getting 3. It got me on the back of the arm, I guess, where I was trying to hold the blanket up over me and my grandson. Because the minute I seen it fall, my arms went up to, you know, at least protect him. And so it got me on the back of the arm, and I have about that big of a section over here under my breast, and then one lower down in my abdomen. But I'm okay. It's healing. You know, it's bruised, because you think about it. It shoots some things up so high in the air. There's a lot of velocity behind those things. And that, more than anything, is what got me. It did break skin on all 3 sections, but nothing horrible. So just be careful for New Year's. I mean, we did nothing wrong. They did nothing wrong, and it still happened. So if it wasn't for, you know, some fast moving, probably would have got my grandson. I mean, he said it got him on the leg, but we couldn't find anything. There was no scorch marks on his pants. There was no bruising. There was no scratching, no redness anywhere on him. So he didn't feel like, he felt like he got hit, and, you know, my promise to keep him safe kind of fell apart. But I kept saying that night, and he was safe. He didn't get hurt, but he didn't feel that way, you know? I mean, because I was supposed to keep him safe. But anyway. The other thing that has drawn blood is I will be right back. Okay, so this right here is Minnie. Minnie, meet everybody and say hey. Sorry, I interrupted her playing with her brother. I did get 2. Hey, babies. Yes, my babies. Yes, my babies. Anyway, this is Minnie. She was born on Halloween. She was the firstborn of her litter, and she's called Minnie because she looks like, oh, come here, baby. She looks like a mini version of her mom, which is my daughter-in-law's cat that I fell in love with. Minnie, you can't go over here. Anyway, what, babies? What? I love you. Yes, I do. Oh, you a sweet girl. Oh, you a sweet babies. Now, her mom is not a long hair, so Daddy must have been long hair. I'm going to let her walk around for a second, but the minute she jumps down, I'm going to have to take her out and get her brother. Now, Minnie, come here. Yeah. Like all kittens, she has scratched me, her brother has scratched me. I really do need to go get them some toys, but I'm not driving yet, so. Hi, baby. Now, I may put up a lot of pictures. I don't know. What? Now I'm going to go get her brother. My baby. Give that to Mama. Okay. I will be right back. I'm going to go get her brother. Now, and this sweet little baby right here is Tippy. Tippy is the first male born. She had 3. She had Minnie, she had Tippy, and I named him. I named Minnie and I named Tippy before they were ever mine. Because he had, at the time, we didn't see any other white on him other than his little white tippy toes. So, I'm sorry, Tippy. And he got his daddy's black hair and black long hair. Tippy, up. Hey, Tippy. So, yes, I do have to. Now, I wish y'all could look here. I'm going to see if I can turn him around so y'all can actually. Tippy, look. Y'all see them big old long white whiskers? Now, I know I told y'all I would love to have. I wanted 2 voids. But I have a tuxedo. And I have an Oreo type looking. You can't go over there. He's kind of irritated because he was in my recliner about to take a nap. So let me take him back in there. I will be right back. Okay. So we can put that to the side because it's not needed as a a distraction toy. So Maya's trying to get her way in here. It's been an interesting few days. I hope that y'all's holiday was everything that you want it to be, whether you were celebrating it with family or whether you were chilling out at home alone or just chilling out at home with your significant other. Whichever way you spent your holiday, I hope it was great. And if you do fireworks, I will get it out one of these days. I hope you enjoy yourself, and I hope you stay safe, because just because you're careful obviously doesn't mean it's always the thing. Now, let me talk about those 2 little kitty cats. I have scratch marks. I have a scratch mark on my nose. I had Minnie. I had my arm tucked up under this arm, and I had her, she was on her back, and I was petting her and everything, and she popped me on my nose. So I popped her on her nose. I said, no pop. So she pops me again. So I pop her again. Not hard, mind y'all, okay? But the second time, she drew blood. I was like, yikes, girl. Yeah, they're babies. Like I said, they were born on Halloween. And it's so funny because she had 2 black males. And I honestly thought that's the ones. I would have been happy with any of the 3 of them. I loved all 3 of them. I really did. And I did think, because she knew that I wanted voids, I thought that she would lean toward the female so that I would get the males. But it didn't turn out that way. And that's fine, because the way she was wanting to do it and the way I was willing to do it was, since I did fall in love with all 3 of them, she wanted to see, by the time that they were weaned, which one fit her house best with my grandson and the dog and her and my son. So, there were so many things that was going on, and she bonded with the little male at the almost the beginning, because he was the mom wasn't really cleaning his eyes very well, and as they were opening their eyes, she would have to keep his clean because his mom wasn't, and he was getting some little mat drainage and stuff. And I told her, I was like, that looks like a respiratory infection type thing, or something respiratory, and it turned out it wasn't. It was just his eyes were giving him trouble, and after maybe 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, it was about 2 weeks. Maybe a little less. That it was fine, but her and that kitten had bonded. And then as time was going on, Minnie was the vocal one. She was the meow, 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 similar to her mom, which cracks me up. I don't care about a vocal cat. And she said that Minnie was very scared. Everything scared her, and Tippy was wild. So when it came down to looking at what kitten worked better for their house, she felt that the second male, Barry, which my grandson named, my husband called him Stash, because he has a little bit of white spot right there on his top lip. Now, he is a short hair like his mom, and he is a sweetheart. He's a little love bug, but in her words, he was chill, and he interacted with my grandson a lot more than Tippy and Minnie did. She said, so, I know you do love them. I was like, I'll take them. I mean, those are the two that I had gravitated to first. And that's really odd because I did want 2 black ones. But I like boisterous cray-cray cats and aloof, that don't really want to be held and loved on and whatnot. Now, you couldn't see that in here because they're not used to interacting in here. That was the first time they've ever been in my workroom. And I didn't want to keep them in here because of all the thread that I have on that. If you sew, there's bits of thread everywhere. And I would hate for them to ingest that. And, maybe if I have a humongous lint roller, I could go through my floor. Because vacuuming doesn't get them all up. It just doesn't. So I don't know that they will be in my workroom very much, if at all. But I brought them in here just to show y'all, because let me tell you, if you've been with me a minute, I lost Skittles on September 5th. And nothing in my life has gone right since. I mean, I'm not counting my husband and my sons. I'm talking about me. With me. It's been a very, very hard 3 months. So, it's the day I brought them home. My husband still didn't agree, really. But I told him, I said, I need this. It's not a want. I need a cat in my life. And I'm not going to lie. Since I lost Skittles, the morning after I brought them home, I woke up smiling and happy to get out of bed because I knew the kittens were in here waiting. Or not in here, but, in the house waiting for me to wake up. And we did have them blocked off the first day and a half, or the first night, and then halfway through the full day that they were here. But I took the boundary down. I had them in my cubby, and that way that they could stay away from the dog, because Maya, she's a typical husky. She's very, just crazy. Very high energy, want to play. And there's these 2 little balls of fur, She would play with Skittles, and Skittles would let her to a certain extent. But Skittles was an old girl when Maya came around. She was already well past her playful stage. When Maya started coming around, when my son was in college. But she's not mean to them. She only wants to play and deflee them. Now, she does have that big husky nose that is almost as big as they are. And so she'll bop them with her nose and it'll kind of send them flying. I'm like, you got to be easy, baby. You got to be easy. So in the beginning, we still have to get onto her a little bit and calm her down. But in the beginning, we kept them separate because I didn't know how she was going to act to kittens. We'd never had her around little kittens. I mean, my cat, yes, but not a kitten. But they're settling in good. I will be posting Instagram pictures like crazy. So if y'all want, I am daybreakknotsandknits on Instagram. And I will be posting all kinds, because I'm going to tell y'all, my camera roll has gone, it's almost full with just kitty pictures. Because I always document my animals. And I wanted to document them on Halloween, the day they were born. But unfortunately, I couldn't climb my son's stairs because that was only 2 weeks after I lost the use of the left side of my body. So I really couldn't do that yet. And by the time I did get to, it was like, I don't know. I wasn't 100% sure I'd be bringing them home. I wasn't sure until the day I brought them home that I was going to be bringing them home. I knew I wanted to. I knew my soul needed to. But it was like, oh, sorry. I'm going to have to kind of straighten myself up because I'm bending too much and that firework boo-boo is getting a little hurt. But I needed to bring them home. I needed those kittens almost as bad as I needed to breathe. And it was so funny because the day I brought them home is the day Brandy sent me this. And I needed them to come in my life. So y'all caught up on all of that. And yes, I know y'all have noticed, my daughter-in-law did my hair because it needed doing. It so needed doing. And I haven't done a lot of crocheting. I haven't worked on my, and I'm pointing right here because my hexacardy is still sitting in here from when I videoed the last video. When I sit down, the kittens want to be on me. They already know who home is. Because, in fact, when I took Minnie out and went to go grab Tippy, he was already in my recliner. He's like, it's nap time, I'm ready to go sleepies. So, they are probably curled up in my recliner right now without me, which kind of breaks my heart a little bit, but that's okay. When I finish recording, I'll go out there and I'll sit in my recliner and we can cuddle. But, because they're doing a lot of eating, a lot of sleeping, a lot of eating, a lot of playing. Because they'll play on my lap and around me and on me to where my husband's laughing at me. I'm like, ow, ow, ow. Because they'll be playing with each other, but them little sharp claws will get me. And he said, now you know what I feel like at night. And he's falling in love with them. He can't tell me any different because I see it. And I knew if he gave them a chance, they would win his heart. He wasn't raised a cat person. He was raised a dog person, but never inside. His parents didn't allow animals inside. Then he met me. The first place we rented didn't allow pets, and I snuck a cat in, and then I snuck a second cat in. And I never even gave my husband a choice, you know. It's like, I showed up with this kitten. I'm like, hey, yeah. Oh, actually, the very first cat we had was Mitzi. And my stepdad, we had went to Thanksgiving dinner at my stepdad's house up in Lincoln, Georgia. And Mitzi was there. And my stepdad, he didn't say a whole lot of things. You know, he didn't talk a whole lot. Technically, he was my ex-stepdad. He was my brother's dad. And because I have 3 older brothers, and he was their dad. So by the time I came along, you know, my mom and him had split. But to me, he's still my stepdad, you know. He was Daddy Jack. So he didn't say a whole lot. And when he did, he talked like this. So you kind of had to listen real close, you know. So he told me, like, please take that cat home. I was like, okay. I was like, why, you don't want her? He's like, no, she needs to go. Now, this cat, Mitzi, she was so small. They called her Mittens. And later I would have a cat called Mittens. But to me, she wasn't a Mittens. And they named her Mittens because she had 4 white legs. But I was like, no, she's a Mitzi. I don't know why I named her Mitzi. She was a Mitzi. And bless her little heart, she was still a kitten, and her little head was so unproportioned to her ears. And she had these big old ears and this teeny tiny little head. And then it was funny because we had her maybe 6 months, and me and my then sister-in-law, my niece and my nephew's mom that ended up walking out and abandoning them, we went to the Humane Society over in Augusta one day. This is before any of the kids were thought of. And in fact, this was before my husband and I got married, and then her and my brother got married. So that happened in 96. So it was probably it was in 93. 92. It was 92 or 93. Anyway, so we went to the Humane Society, and I happened to see this little fluffy cat, and the lady was like, "Oh, you don't want to grab him. He'll claw you. He'll jump out of your arms. He won't let anybody hold him." And I said, "Really?" So Mittens came home with me, and it was so funny because he was like Tippy. He was full on hair, but he was gray. So I bought this big gray stuffed animal, and I walked in the front door, and I looked at he was my boyfriend back then, wasn't my husband, but I looked at him and I said, "Look what I have." And he said, "Why did you get that big old bear?" And then Mittens pops his head above. He pops his little head above the top of the daggone thing. He's like, "Is that a cat?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's a cat." So my husband should have known very early on, before he even took me as a wife, that he was going to have cats in his life all the time. Now, yeah, because that was 92, because we bought our house, the one that burned down, in 03. We bought it in 93. And when we bought our house, we ended up getting 2 bulldogs. It was Turner and Hooch. Yes, I loved Tom Hanks' movie, Turner and Hooch. Unfortunately, they got parvo. We lost Turner, but Hooch survived. And Hooch was a boxer mutt mix. Turner was a pit mutt mix. And it was so funny because they were a week apart in age, but they were two peas in a pod. And we had Hooch. Hooch survived parvo. He survived getting hit by a truck, it's crushed his skull. A tornado that dropped a tree on him. And then the house fire, which he was not in the house. He was right there in the backyard at the house, because by that point he was so big, you know. We kept him outside a lot in the backyard. But heartworms ended up taking him out. And I want to say we bought this place in May of 2003. We didn't move out here till September because the insurance company put us in a rental house. He died, actually, of heartworms while we were in the rental house. And it hit him like that, you know. When the vet diagnosed him as having heartworms, he said, he's so far gone, we can't, the medication alone will take him out. And he was 11, 12 at this point. So, you know, it was not gonna end well. So, you know, he did put him down. And he's actually buried here, because I told my husband, I'm like, you know, I'm not burying him at the rental house. He's going to be where we are. And we've had dogs since then. We've had more dogs then and since then. And, you know, I don't have to have a dog. I do love to have a dog. But after Georgia died, he said he wasn't ready. And I understood that. I wasn't ready at the time either, you know. I did become ready, and he never became ready. But then Maya came into our life, and it was like, okay, well, now we're going to love this dog. She's not our dog, but, you know, we're going to love this dog. So anyway, I know that was probably more than most people even stayed around for. So if you're still here, thank you. I really appreciate you. And I have not gotten any more of my yarn documented on Ravelry. I did try to find an app because I couldn't get the voice feature to work on the website portion of Ravelry on my phone. So I did try an app, but none of the ones that work with Ravelry had very good rankings. Now, y'all can tell me if y'all know of a better way, that would be great. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with that. And then as I use them, I'm going to write them down in a notebook, and I'll document, you know, how much I used, what pattern I did, kind of that, all of that. Because I've never ever been a record keeper when it comes to doing my yardage used, what pattern, and all. I've never been one of those people. And I don't know that anything outside of this challenge that I'm setting for myself, unless I knit something on Ravelry, I might do that. I might keep track of, especially garments that I knit for myself, because there's that The Perfect Tee by Originally Lovely. I do like that one, but I did make modifications, and I don't remember all the modifications I made. So it would be handy for me to keep track of those kind of things, because if I ever want to re-knit something, I will know. Or recrochet something, you know, make another one. Because there were, out of those ideas that I had for knit and crochet, tops. There was 2 crochet patterns that I really, really wanted to do. I didn't write them down, so I'm going to have to go back and watch my own video and see. Because what I would really like to do is this challenge that I set for myself for 2026. I would love to do that. Can y'all hear that? Sounds like a small plane, like a little Cessna or something, a smaller plane. It wasn't a jet or a 747. But anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. I am looking forward to, I think what I'm going to do, I won't be able to do it in my next video. Oops, I'm moving my table. I won't be able to do it in my next video that will air on, it will air on January 1st. So I might line up the things that I want to do and then start that day on January 1st. I can't record the video and start on the same day because, you know, my son edits my videos. So what I might do is line it up, and then the day that y'all are watching the video is the day I'll start. I can't do the knitting portion yet. I am getting more use of my hand. Little by little. It's not listening to me today, but I have a very bad migraine. So I'm hoping that when my head's not hurting as much, I want to show you. So hopefully I'll be able to in my next video. I can kind of show you with this one. All right, so y'all know how I was moving my wrist up and down, and I brought my fingers to a, so I've been working on my index finger because that's my tension. So when I hold my project, I hold my project like this with my left hand. So if I could get my left hand to do this, we're cooking with gas. Because I think if I can get my hand to do this action on its own and stay this way, that I can knit. So that's what I'm working for. I might not have perfect dexterity, and I don't know if I will ever get that back. I'm starting to wonder because we are just under 2 weeks away from being 3 months. So almost 3 months that this has been going on, and I really thought that I would be further. Like when I curl my hair, I can make my hand do this, and I just slip my thing in to pull it out so I can, because I can't tell y'all how many times I've burnt my forehead trying to curl my hair with just one hand. What I'll do, I'll bend my hair forward and then clip it with this and then have to roll it. But sometimes after I clip it, my hand goes toward my head and I burn it. But trust me, this junk is so flat that if I don't curl a little bit of it, it's horrible. I mean, I know y'all don't care. It's just it's not a vanity thing. I guess it is a vanity thing to a degree. But anyway, I'm going to get off here. I am excited for the new year. No, I did not do what I've seen a lot of people doing and go over my 2025 year in makes and whatnot. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Because a lot of my makes, sewing-wise, y'all bought. And some, thank you, you know who you are, have bought some of my website stuff, some of my crochet and knit stuff to help me out. Unfortunately, I did get that bill, that hospital bill, and it sent me into a tailspin. It was $35,000, and I wasn't even in there 24 hours. They did an automatic adjustment They did not approve me for the financial aid, but they did do an automatic adjustment of 11,000 and some odd. Even, you know, it was 35 something, but then they took it down to 23,149 something. And I wanted to fight it. But for most of what they charged me, I really can't fight it. I can fight. The bulk of the bill is legitimate. They did MRI. They did a EKG. They did an EEG. They did all these tests on me. So I can't dispute that. I can dispute a $750 pharmacy fee for 2 Motrin. And I can do a $1,700 treatment room for the ER when they just stuck me in the hallway. You know, so but really, and I think they charged me $800 for physical therapy. I did have a physical therapist come in and see if I could swallow, because I had the left side droop, and they were worried that I couldn't drink or eat. So I got charged $800 for them to tell me I could swallow when I could tell them I could swallow. Yeah, I'm getting a little worked up on that one again. So I have a call in. I'm going to try to get to where I can make payments or something on it. So I might be doing a fundraiser on my website. I don't know what, if y'all have any ideas or suggestions or something. I posted one night, the night that I got that bill, I was so angry. I took a picture of my tree and I posted it to Instagram. And so it posted it Instagram and on my Facebook. And I made that post in anger, talking about the $23,000 hospital bill from a concussion that left me useless on my left side. And I woke up and deleted it. I was very ashamed of myself for posting that, because I let my anger get the better of me. And that's not who I am. I can get mad and I can get angry, but I don't know. So anyway, the thing about that is someone actually messaged me on Facebook Messenger and said, not any of y'all, someone that I know in real life. I mean, locally. Well, no, not locally. They live in Georgia, but she said, why don't you start a GoFundMe? And I can't do that. I would love to do that. I don't know if it would work anyway. I can't do that to my husband. I can't put it on my Facebook and say, this is where I'm at. This is the help I need. Because a lot of his family is attached to my Facebook. And a lot of his family are well-to-do and unfortunately, would look down their nose at something like that and give him a really, really hard time. So I'm not going to put him through that. But if y'all have any suggestions, please let me know. Or I'm going to be paying on that hospital bill for 20 years. I'm hoping that they will be reasonable and help me work something out to where if I can sell X amount of bags, that'll pay my hospital bill for the month or something. I don't know. It's still... it's overwhelming. And I put it on the back burner to try to get through the holidays, to be upbeat and be there for my family. And it's still there. It's still tinging my tone, my attitude. So I'm trying to work through that and say, you know, it is what it is. It's not going to change anything. So just put it back there. You'll deal with it as it comes. But now that I actually know the amount, it's kind of hard to do that. It really is. Now, once I get a call back and find out, you know, how I can set up payment arrangements or whatnot, you know, I can go from there. It's just, I'm kind of like in that limbo, you know, trying to figure out whether I'm coming or going. But it's more, it is what it is. So y'all might see some videos of me, you know, doing something on my website or selling some of my yarn or selling something. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. But in the meantime, I want y'all to have a very, very, yeah, I have a new little doohickey for my phone that supposedly lets me hit record and all, so I don't have to hit record, walk all the way around my table, sit down, and then, you know, try to start talking. So we'll see. I've been trying it with this video with showing you the kitten, so we'll see if this thing works. But what was I saying? Oh, I hope y'all have a great New Year, or New Year's Eve, and a safe one, because the next time you see me will be New Year's Day. So I hope you find some joy today. I hope something that makes you smile or lights your brain up, your heart, whatever. Just grab a hold of that little piece of joy. I have 8 paws running around my house bringing me joy, no matter whether I touch yarn or anything. So I hope y'all have something like that. It might not be 8 little paws. It might just be seeing someone, hearing from someone, or seeing a podcast that you really enjoy. Just grab a hold of it and pull it out later when things aren't so great. You know? So, in the meantime, I will see y'all on the next video, which will be New Year's Day. Okay? Y'all take care. Bye.